Hey guys, what's up? It is your friend Keith, and we are back in the control room at Essex Recording Studios just outside London in England. Welcome back, everyone. We're having a killer weekend. We're getting ready to move to our new premises in Southend-on-Sea. Huge compound. And before we do, I've got to share some really special guitars we just got in. Got about 10 guitars that came in that are really unique that we've never had before. This is the Ernie Ball Music Man, John Petrucci USA Signature Model, JP6, I believe they call this. And yeah, it's a first. I'm a huge Dream Theater fan, huge G3 fan, huge John Petrucci fan. If you're new to the channel, click like, click subscribe, get to know us and the studio here in the UK. We're really blowing up because of you guys. We really appreciate it. Like 5,500 subscribers right now. It's totally nuts. Let's chat about this guitar. So, a little thing about John Petrucci and your buddy Keith. Well, back in the day, before we had YouTube, before we had DVDs, I was playing with a group of friends in high school. Was it middle school or high school? Probably high school. And my buddy Brad. Brad also went by Joe. Joe Brad. He, what a nice guy. He went and took all of his savings because he really thought I was a promising guitar player. And he spent $100 on a John Petrucci instructional VHS tape. Back then, yes, guitar instructional videos were crazy expensive, people. Super, super big money. John Petrucci was an Ibanez guy back then. I'm trying to remember the name of that tape. I think it was like Liquid Metal or something like that. But I'll never forget the warm-up exercises that John Petrucci teaches in that video, all the way from like, I don't know, it was 25 years ago or something when they made that thing. And I use those very same warm-up exercises to this day. How cool is that? They're that good. I think they made me a 3 times better guitar player overnight just by doing them over and over and over and over again. Back then, you were only as good as your local guitar teacher, or whatever your natural intuition was figuring out guitar. It's a complete game changer today. I mean, I was watching the software that's free online. You guys probably already know about it. And like the thing will just like tab out any song. It will show you where it is on the fretboard specifically and have a whole visual thing so you can play along. I mean, it's crazy what they have today. But back then, if you wanted really good detailed close-up instruction, like you'd have to plop down $100 on this tape. So John Petrucci, long story short, holds a really near and dear space in my heart. I'm a huge fan of that guy. I think he's great, like everything about him. Neck plate on this. There you go. You see the serial number G17723. The silver sparkle on this finish is the best. It's as good as it comes. Man, does it pop. It doesn't look girly. It doesn't look like glitter. It just looks super premium. I'm a huge fan of metallic flake, metallic sparkle finishes. This thing looks like having your own like Swarovski crystal New Year's ball or something. It's great. And then of course, one of the things very underrated about the Music Man instruments is their beautiful, highly figured bird's eye maple necks you can get on them. Not all of them have it. There's plenty that don't. But man, when they do the bird's eye, they just get really, really nice pieces of wood. And the figuring is just world class, as you can see with this example here. I'm loving it. Small headstock, you got 6 locking tuners all kind of jammed real close as they do on the Music Man guitars. I really like the buttons on the tuners here. Everything about this guitar is premium and is like expensive. The case, molded Gator style, I guess, Music Man case, really nice. If I had any criticism at all on this thing, how could we improve it? Not much. 'Cause, like, all the parts are best of the best of the best. The finish is great. The neck is great. It feels awesome. It's super well balanced. The access you get. I mean, you're talking about this is designed by one of the best players in the world. One thing that's a bit weird, you've got this plate is recessed into the body. Beautiful, awesome. That's what we like to see on our high-end guitars. This is raised. Why? Now, what is nice is it's beveled at an angle and it slopes, so very unlikely to catch on anything. But still, you know, same thing with the neck plate. On the back of the guitar, I'd like to see everything like this. I'd like to see everything flush with the body or even recessed, you know, if there's a little dip. The less stuff that catches, you know, input jack looks a bit pretty, you know, nothing special. Like, make an input jack special, guys. And don't have anything off that can snag, especially if you're going to go nuts on stage. But these are really, I mean, if that's the worst thing I can say about a guitar, then you know we're looking good. This thing is real agile, nice and light. The neck is like amongst my favorite necks. I love the unfinished feel of it. I mean, it's still smooth. I'm sure they rub some sort of wax or whatever sealant into it, so you're not feeling the pores of the wood. But it is great. The what else can we say about this? Bridge looks a bit vintagey. To me, it has a real vintage vibe going to it. It's not what I think of when I think of metal or when I think of John Petrucci, but whatever. This is what they designed, so that's it. I mean, it is kind of a far departure from, you know, an Ibanez like Edge Pro or Low Pro Floyd Rose style thing. This is super cool in here. Severe, big cutaway, like steep angle. It looks awesome. It's really cool and it's totally functional. Truss rod adjustment with the spoke wheel. Brilliant. Whoever designed that gets a Nobel Prize. The Dimarzio's best pickups in the world are my favorite. One other thing comes to mind on this model. If I had any criticism for looks designs on the front, I personally do not like small dot inlays. I think it's so boring. I get it where people just want, like, some people want inlays, but they just want them out of the way, not taking up, you know, not distracting them, having a bunch of gaudy stuff to look at. So I totally get that. But these small, tiny dot inlays just, I don't know. It's like, why have this dazzling, beautiful finish, this chrome, beautiful hardware, this beautiful bird's eye maple neck and pearloid tuners, and then just have a plain rosewood fret, not plain rosewood, really nice rosewood, but these plain dot inlays. It just seems, I mean, I know in later models they've addressed the inlay situation and they have different stuff that's pretty cool. I don't know the history of these guitars. Like, I don't know if this is like a Mark 1 or Generation 1 or what not, but I imagine it is an earlier one. Yeah, that's my observation. Again, would I let it put me off from buying this guitar or playing this guitar? Not at all. Not for a second. I think for the money, this thing is killer. So yeah, that is my overall assessment of this guitar. If you want to record with it, we've got it here for you guys to enjoy, baby. Absolutely. Book some time and come rock out with it. If you want to buy it, all these guitars you see on the channel, I make them available for anyone in the world. I'll ship them anywhere in the world. You can see from the feedback, I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of positive feedback from whether it's China, Australia, Singapore, America, obviously, Canada. I mean, all week long, everywhere around the world. No problems. This thing is super clean. We got this on trade against one of our Jacksons. This came to us from Slovenia, if I'm not mistaken. Remember correctly? Yes. Ooh, I like these beveled edges on the horns as well. Really, really cool. Look at how much that pops. Man, I can't say enough good things about the finish on this. It's so cool. As far as condition and damage goes, this thing's like excellent. There's, you know, you can see like there's a little minor, let me see if we can tap my nose on the phone here. There we go. There's like a minor, tiny little thing like right there, a little mark where someone leaned this against the wall or something. The most minor of things, you know, no chips on the corners or anything like that. The finish, I think the only thing I could find on the finish, it's so hard. A beautiful thing about having a silver sparkle is that scratches don't show up. You know, scratches, chips. There's one thing right there that I found. Again, super tiny, that dot, and it just looks, to me, it just looks like part of the sparkle. I think that's the only thing. One of these knobs looks a little bit duller than the other one. What else? What else? On the bridge, there's a little bit of, just in this corner here, you know, patina to it. Very minor stuff, guys. On the back, I just want to be thorough, make sure there's nothing else I'm missing here. No, no, no. No, this thing's super clean. Really, really nice. All right, guys, let me get going. I'm going to, well, I think I'm going to do this ESP very early model next for you. So let me go. More videos coming your way. Thanks so much for hanging out and listening to me talk about John Petrucci and all the memories there. And I'll see you very soon with some more guitar.